Ladies and gentlemen, James Lane here, and the damn judge that was in the Parler versus Amazon case to get Parler server turned back on ruled against Parler, saying that they don't police their content. Meanwhile, Twitter allows terrorists, monsters, and cretins from all over the world organize on their platform. Folks, this is hypocrisy and tyranny at the highest level, and you're about to hear about it next. Ladies and gentlemen, how you guys doing? James Lane here. Do me a favor before you do anything else. Wherever you are seeing this or hearing this right now, take a second and share it. Share it. If you're not subscribed, you're not hitting the notification bell, you are not doing it right, because folks, they are censoring the hell out of us. Hundreds and hundreds of people have emailed me wondering where the hell my videos have gone in their feed. They're still subscribed. They have to click directly onto my profile and look at my videos and at my posts on certain social media platforms as well, which, folks, we basically don't have. Parler's gone. We had over 15,000 people listening, watching, waiting for us there. We have about 750 of you guys following along digitally on the daily Project Underground Railroad newsletter. Thank you so much. And by the way, if you're not subscribed, guys, head to the website, www.americanreveille.com, and sign up for the newsletter. It's how we have to keep contact right now, especially while we're building coalitions with other networks, other media and content producers, other people important in the movement. Folks, we aren't gone. Nobody's taken us out. Not by a long shot. It's going to take a lot more than that. But you know, folks, sometimes you got to take a little time and recalibrate so that you have a direction to head in and you can get around the obstacles that are in your path. And that's what American Reveille is doing right now. And I'm confident that we will overcome this. I have a lot of great things on the table we're bringing you very, very soon. And I can't wait to tell you about them, because you, my friends, are going to get to be a part of them. It's not going to cost you a thing. But in your local town, in your local city, you will be able to help us out immensely, and you will be rewarded for it. Trust me. But we'll talk about that very, very soon once the plans are hashed out, not hatched out, unless we're saying they're hatched out of an egg. And obviously, I have to secure the funding, which I'm not too worried about, because for that one, I'll probably be paying for it. So, folks, do me that favor. Share. Sign up. Talk about the American Reveille movement, because we haven't gone anywhere and we are still growing. Ladies and gentlemen, we are still growing. And we're here tonight to talk to you about what's going on with Parler, because you see, this liberal Jimmy Carter judge has sided with Amazon. All right. I'm reading this off a Gateway Pundit article for those of you who are listening. Guys, this judge is a blind and biased crook. Absolute crook. How do you rule against one company while another company who does 20 times worse gets to win? I think I know how. It's the money. Well, and the power and the influence. Got to look at that Section 230, ladies and gentlemen. But until we do that, we have to deal with these judges. Now, folks, understand that this was just about Amazon turning the servers back on. I believe Mr. John Matzi and Dan Bongino have some plans hatching in the background, and they are busy mining, digging, shoveling, and picking, getting what they need to get done, so we can get back on Parler. But you see, here at the American Reveille, we took this as a wake-up call. We took this as a warning sign that the left can do whatever they want, whenever they want, from now forward, to screw with our lines of communication. I'm an old school kind of guy. I don't know about you folks, but there's a lot of them youngins out there panicking. Oh, what are we going to do without social media? What are we going to do? And I'm talking about people on the right that don't know how to do anything other than social media. Well, folks, our feet are going to beat the street. We are going to hit the pavement and even go on the road, down the road, of course. That is, again, more stuff to talk about in the future, but I want you to get excited because big things are coming down the line. The American Reveille movement is going nowhere. We are going to steamroll anything in our path. They obviously don't know me very well and don't know what they would have to do if there's anything they could possibly do to stop me. You know, somebody who's been to the bottom and has had nothing knows exactly how far he can go or she can go. Women are tough too. Folks, these other people, these billionaire tech people, these leftists, they're soft, they're fluffy. They're fluffy. They're fluffy fairies, ladies and gentlemen. Fluffy, pixie dust, glittery princesses. Folks, they're soft. Just outfox them. It won't be long. All we have to do is keep the pressure on locally, socially, politically. Don't worry. We're strong people. We get through these couple years. We have a beautiful thing called the Constitution, and they would have to do a lot to destroy it. So try to keep optimistic. Keep your eyes open. I'm not telling you that nothing bad's going to happen. Things are going to be rocky for a while. But we have to work together. That's why the American Reveille is doing all of these things so that you can become active in your local area. All right? Peacefully active, doing something to really help the cause, help the movement, help the country without doing something bad or getting yourself involved with extreme people, because that's not what we're about. We're about doing this the right way. And I promise you, with enough people, there's nothing we can't do together the right way. Folks, we're going to start reading. This is Jim Hoft, all right? This is Jim Hoft, liberal. Jimmy Carter judge, of course. Jimmy Carter judge sides with Amazon, rules against Parler after tech giants collude. I was about to say collide. I'd like to see the tech giants collide, like a battle royal. Collude against the company. That's Jim Hoft. All right, folks, it came out January 21st, 6:59 p.m. Let's read. A Jimmy Carter appointed judge ruled in favor with Amazon on Thursday and against the Parler platform. Amazon colluded with the tech giants and kicked Parler off its web hosting services, smearing the company for inciting violence. Of course, these same accusations could be used against Twitter and Facebook as well, where live suicide and murder has been recorded on Facebook video. Do you remember when those folks, I believe they had either broken an entry or kidnapped that mentally handicapped young person? And I believe they humiliated and beat them almost to death, or if not to death, on live Facebook video. I remember watching that a few years ago, and it's actually kind of making me a little emotional thinking about it, because it's just horrible that people could be like that to other people. These are like the same people that call us racists. Now they go and they take handicapped people and they beat them in a home. They beat them. I think it was either an abandoned house. I don't remember. I just remember the video, and it was a terrible, terrible thing. And it was live on Facebook. How many people have been bullied, humiliated, beaten, hurt, raped on Facebook? But Parler's the number one demonio, right? The number one bad demon, evil, unclean, dirty, dirty Parler. Folks, I believe Parler is going to be one of the saving graces, because like a phoenix, it will rise from the ashes stronger than ever before. People don't understand that sometimes when you destroy something and don't finish the job, you create an even bigger and scarier force than you could have ever imagined. Parler will have their day in the sun, and I'm guessing eventually their day in court. Unfortunately, we're going to suffer for a little while, but isn't that the nature of historical times and history, folks? Life's not a comedy. Life's not an action movie. Life's a tragedy. It has its ups and downs, but we take the tragedy in our lives and we paint beautiful pictures with them, folks. and a beautiful picture will be painted very soon. Amazon, all right? Amazon colluded. This is the big deal here. Facebook colluded. All right. Google colluded. All right. Twitter colluded. That's the problem. You have some of the biggest, most powerful companies in the world led by some of the most freakiest, creepiest, geekiest eccentrics ever known to man. And, you know, that's putting it very kindly. And though one of them had the power to crush Parler, they all got together like gods on Mount Olympus and sent a warning down to us peasants. Look what happens. If we could do this to them, imagine what we could do to you. Folks, you can't silence us that easy. You can't silence us at all. By the way, what do you guys think of a bumper sticker that says #censor this? I'm thinking about giving it away as part of one of my... Oh, wait, I'm not supposed to talk about that. Never mind. So let's keep reading. Judge Barbara Rothstein sided with Amazon today against the little guy. This is the world we live in, a far-left government social media alliance. Here's what the NPR reported. A federal judge has refused to restore the social media site Parler after Amazon kicked the company off its web hosting services over content seen as inciting violence. The decision is a blow to Parler, an upstart that has won over Trump loyalists for its relatively hands-off approach to moderating content. Now, they do moderate content. All right, they do. There is a system for it. It is in their terms of service, and it has been happening. All right. The company sued Amazon over its ban, demanding reinstatement. Here's what happened, by the way. They got backlogged. All right. Now, imagine you're building a company and you're growing and you're growing and you're growing. Imagine a company like Twitter attacks you or Facebook, a company worth hundreds of billions of dollars, a company with more money than countries. And you're just the little guy. Maybe you got $1 million or $2 million and you're going up against somebody with more money than Cuba. That's pretty easy, actually. Let's like tie Cuba and a couple Central American places together and then we can make that make sense. Look, what I'm getting at, okay? What I'm getting at is that you can't stand up to these people. So that's the big thing. So what if they don't moderate the same way as you? And so what if they can't catch up? That's the thing you're doing. You're looking at this company. This is what nobody's talked about. You're looking at this company and you're saying, hey, you need to compete with us at our level, but without our money. And if you can't keep up and you don't do it the same exact way we do it, we will banish you. We'll banish you to the Himalayas. You've seen Monster Inc.? Come on, Monsters Inc., snow cones, Loch Ness Monster, diaper on his head, King Itchy. No? All right, look, I've got young children. Deal with it. This decision is a blow to Parler, an upstart that has won over Trump loyalists for its relatively hands-off approach to moderating content. Again, NPR is wrong. U.S. District Judge Barbara Rothstein sided with Amazon, which argued that Parler would not take down posts threatening public safety, even in the wake of the attack on the U.S. Capitol. If I remember correctly, wasn't Hang Mike Pence trending on Twitter while all this was happening? Just reminding you. And that it's within Amazon's rights to punish the company over its refusal. Quote, the court rejects any suggestion that the public interest favors requiring Amazon to host the incendiary speech that the record shows some of Parler's users having engaged in, Rothstein wrote on Thursday. Isn't Section 230, doesn't that protect somebody from curating its content if they're not a publisher? So basically they're okay. You guys see the hypocrisy there, right? You do, right? Like 230 says something. It says that social media companies have special protection from what their users do. Twitter and Facebook hide behind that all the time. Why doesn't Parler get the same treatment? Ask yourself that, ladies and gentlemen. Why doesn't Parler get the same treatment? Why doesn't the right get the same treatment? Why is it so on or off, black or white? Oh, so simple for the left to put us all in one category and press the digital button to turn on the showers in the gas station. Ladies and gentlemen, the gas chamber, not the gas station. Excuse me. That was such a good one, too. This is all coming off the top of my head, right? I'm not scripting this. I'm just going. And I figure once in a while, I got to give you like a nice witty thing. This isn't news, right? I'm telling you factual stuff, but I'm trying to entertain you. I'm trying to give it to you in a good pill form, right? Something you'll absorb, something you'll know. So you'll want to hear what's happening. You'll want to be informed. You'll want to be empowered, to be involved in local government and in standing up for your rights and in vocally supporting free speech and the freedom to live out your dreams in this beautiful country. Folks, if I do that in the right way, you'll never forget it. And that's what I'm trying to do. So sometimes, unfortunately, I say the wrong word. What can you do? It's ad-libbing. It's coming off the top of my head. Well, I know what I can do. I can use this moment to segue with the words, what can I do? I can go to another article. Boom, right there, because we're not done here yet. You're pissed off, right? I gave you this side. Nobody wants to hear about this. They're all like, man, the freaking Jimmy, I'm sick of hearing about I'm sick of I don't want to deal with it anymore. But folks, hold on, because even the New York Post can't hold back. They did publish the Hunter Biden story, remember? And I hope that doesn't disappear, although I haven't heard much about it, so I'm not expecting it to come up again for a while, unfortunately. We're going to have to deal with some slack, folks, some nastiness, some crap, some stuff we don't want to deal with. But don't worry. Don't worry, we'll affect the local elections through positive means. We'll eventually twist things around. We'll get back in where we need to get in. We'll clean the party out. All right? We'll do what we have to do through legal and correct processes. But in the meantime, let's talk some crap about Twitter. That's how I'm going to make up to you, all right? Because the rest of this thing that we're doing here, the rest of this segment, we're going to talk about Parler. And we're going to talk about Twitter, and we're going to talk about some positive things about Parler that I'll tell you at the end. And we're going to talk about how Twitter sucks and how they're hypocrites, how Jack Dorsey's a little elf-looking creature that probably has some of the most horrible skeletons in his closet you could ever imagine. He looks like he's zonked out of his mind on PCP every time you talk to him. You're like asking him a question like, Jack Dorsey, how was Twitter today? And he's like looking up like this. He's like, it was quite illuminating. Twitter was the most illuminating thing of the day. And I believe corporate policy converged with God. I wish I had more PCP. Oh, God, angel dust. He's like high out of his mind. I'm not talking about weed. There's some people that smoke weed and it helps them out tremendously. Not dogging weed. I got no problem with people doing things medicinally, doing things correctly, or even doing things like that, like alcohol, just being safe about it, not getting in your car and doing crazy stuff. When I look at Jack Dorsey, that dude's not smoking pot. That dude is smoking freaking whatever Hunter Biden smokes before he goes to China. That's what Jack Dorsey's on. All right. So let's have some fun. Let's go over here. The threats and violence that Twitter won't police. For some of you, this is going to be the first time you've heard this stuff. So I want you to stick with me. I want you to hear this because Twitter is like a child that pushes you down the stairs. And then when you like climb back up the stairs to go back after the child, like if you're another child, I'm not saying you're like an adult getting beat up by like a super strong mutant child. I'm saying you're another child. So the kid like shoves you and then you go and like get all mad. And then the kid hits himself in the face and starts crying. And then mom comes and disciplines. That's what we're dealing with. Total hypocrisy. Children, ladies and gentlemen, babies. We're busy working. We're busy in the factory. We're busy in the sewers and in the ditches with the jackhammers. We're busy cleaning gutters, climbing roofs, tarring roads. We're busy managing restaurants. We're busy running small and medium businesses. We're busy living our lives, taking care of our families, chasing our pursuit of happiness. To know or care what's happening on Twitter. And unfortunately, folks, we have no choice now but to care. So I'm going to at least put this out here. Make Twitter look bad, because they should look bad, and give you some laughs during the thing. So let's talk about it. This is David Marcus. The threats and violence Twitter won't police. All right, folks, before we read this again, share. Please, I need you to share. We are censored to holy hell. I've been losing YouTube followers. I'm watching it. I'm watching us go down 10 followers, 20, and then I'm watching us go up 5, 10, 15 more subscribers on YouTube and different things like that. It's going down and up and down and up. That's YouTube removing people at the rate that they're joining. You see what's happening? We're watching it. Just like we watched votes moving around on TV, I'm watching the same thing happen with my analytics on any of these neutral platforms. So we're working right now, again, on our own hosting and different things like that. We are on Rumble. You can find us there and different things to that nature. But we are doing our own thing and working on building our own secure physical networks as we go forward and down the road. We're just working on securing funding. That's been the hardest part. But don't worry, as we go within the next few months, especially, I have a feeling things are going to get pretty interesting around these parts. So thank you for doing me that favor. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing. Let's read The Threats and Violence Twitter Won't Police by David Marcus of the New York Post's opinion section. This is back from January 12th, ladies and gentlemen, January 12th, 2021. So of late, much attention has been focused on acts of censorship by Twitter, which has garnered far less attention is what Twitter chooses not to censor. And the examples are shocking both in content and in the hypocrisy that big tech shows in its effort to destroy Parler, Twitter's competitor Parler. All right, folks, Amazon, Apple, and Google have all acted to shut Parler down, supposedly because it hosts calls for violence. But a simple search of Twitter shows that it regularly allows such calls itself. That's what I was telling you earlier, the hypocritical nature of Twitter. Are you ready for this? Listen to this. Twitter hosts a hashtag kill Trump hashtag. That's okay, right? In all of the glorious English language, there's no clearer, plainer, or shorter way to call for violence than the word kill, followed by somebody's name. I didn't even have to try to make that funny. This author is pretty funny. That was pretty good. It's true, isn't it? I'm going to read that again just because it was so true. Listen. In all of the glorious English language, there's no clearer, plainer, or shorter way to call for violence than the word kill followed by somebody's name. That does make some sense there, folks. But there it is. One of these tweets reads, hashtag arrest Trump. Not enough. Hashtag kill Trump. And it isn't new. Back in June, the hashtag assassinate Trump was bouncing around the website with gems like, quote, someone take this clown out now. That tweet is still up, by the way. Look, it's right here. If you're not watching, if you're listening, we're looking at a tweet from at Dave_suspect, if you want to go say hi to him on Twitter, from June 5th, 2020. All right. And it says, someone take this clown out now, hashtag assassinate Trump. That's okay, right? That's a direct threat. A direct threat, ladies and gentlemen. And while Trump's alleged calls for violence, in fact, he explicitly called for peaceful protest, got him banned, the Ayatollah, I always screw up his name, Khamenei, I always screw his name up, excuse me. Try it. Look, Khamενei. All right. You want to correct me? Leave like a video response somehow. You can email it to me. JamesLane@AmericanReveille.com. I'd be interested to hear those. So Ayatollah Khamenei, I'll just say it really quick. Khamenei. And hopefully nobody will notice. Ayatollah Khamenei tweeted this in November. Palestine will be free, while the fake Zionist regime will perish. There's no doubt about this. So encouraging a completely legal challenge to election results gets our president banned. But the leader of Iran's brutal state threatening to wipe out Israel is no problem at all. You see it? It's right here. Even though some governments, look, it's funny, even the Ayatollah, right? Even the Ayatollah uses uses slang like Americans do on cell phones, even though some govsts, Govts, started a treacherous and contemptible move towards normalizing relations with the Zionists. He's talking about Israel. They're too small to end the matter of Palestine. No, Palestine will be free while the fake Zionist regime will perish. So basically he's saying that governments shouldn't be normalizing relationships with Israel. That's all the Abraham Accords that were happening. And Palestine's going to be free because they're going to kill everybody at some point. So screw off. That's okay, right? That's okay. That's fine, according to Twitter. There's a Twitter account that calls itself Pigs in a Blanket, for I am like bacon. A call to kill police that's also found in myriad tweets. There is currently a tweet up from the day of the Capitol riots that reads, quote, I hope the Trumpers out there all die of COVID. When Congressman-elect Luke Letlau died with COVID, there were tweets celebrating and calling it justice. Antifa, which engaged in riots all summer in Portland. And I know a lot of us are very hot under the collar about that. They have several Twitter accounts that they use to organize violence. In July, a left-wing Portland journalist tweeted during a riot, heads up all, it looks like Andy Ngo is here. Author and Antifa critic Ngo has been physically assaulted by the group. Clearly she knew she was putting him in danger. Why is that okay? And even though this came out on the 12th, we know that just the other night, guess who was rioting in Seattle, rioting in Portland, breaking the windows, destroying Democrat property, screaming at Joe Biden, we want it all. We don't want you. That's what happened. We all warned you, Democrats. Use these left-wing anarchists and then dump them at the end, and they're going to come back to bite you. And look what's happening. You used these violent mobs to achieve your goal. And now you're going to have to deal with these left-wing violent mobs. And that's all on you, Sleepy Joe. So I hope you stay awake for that one. The point is that Twitter is a cesspool of threats of violence, but takes little notice unless they come from conservative voices that threaten their power and their bottom line. This idea that Twitter is acting in the interest of the community or promoting healthy discourse with its censorship is absurd. Twitter acts in one and only one entity's interest: itself. Look at this. There it is. I hope all the Trumpers die of COVID. It's January 6th, folks. Still there. What's really happening here is that Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey, the La La Land garden gnome of a creature that he is, the Smeagol of Twitter. He does. He looks like a little, my precious retweets. Anyway, Jack Dorsey is he's cynically taking advantage of the tragic and chaotic events on the Capitol to secure his company's dominance. It is deeply un-American, and they deserve to be called out. Twitter has the right to police the speech on its platform, but the rules must apply equally to everyone if they claim to be a neutral platform and not a publisher. Their actions over the last few days show clearly they are the latter, and they should be just as liable for their content as any other publisher in the country. I agree 100%. Let's give a shout out to David Marcus. He's one of the Federalist's New York correspondents. He wrote this article here. All right, folks, we have a major problem in this country. We have two different definitions, two different ideologies, two different ways of life. So no matter what we do, at this point, they're going to just think that it's absolutely fair to censor us, but not them, because we are the dirty, the evil, the unclean, the wicked, the filthy, the unwanted. We are the worker bee, the blue collar, the forgotten Americans, forgotten no more, and reminded of what this country could be. So never, ever, ever keep your mouth shut, folks. Always, always use your rights to free speech. Use them. Use them, use them, use them. But folks, we are not done yet. The fun isn't over. I got another thing I want to show you, and it's not an ad for my website yet. What I want to show you is actually Parler.com. I actually wanted to type it in like this because it was fun to see. All right, look at this. These are all new. All right. These are all new from today. I'm going to read through them for you because most of you haven't seen this. You're all bummed out. Parler's gone. It's all over. We're done. They've taken the country. Folks, that's not how it works. We know what their goals are. We know what they want to do, but they are still having to go through the processes. And in the meantime, Parler, with the help of its investors, Dan Bongino, John Matsey, and everybody else, they are busy at work behind the scenes, rebuilding the infrastructure. Technical difficulties. This is parler.com. I'm reading it to you if you're listening, folks. And if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, take a moment right now, please, 5-star rating. All right. And leave a written review. You have to do that for me. You have to, and you have to leave a comment and you have to share it. It works on the algorithm there and moves me up the rankings, and more patriots get to see what we're doing, get to hear about the American Reveille, get to become empowered and join the movement today. There are still friends there that need to see this. All right. Whether you're boycotting or not, go on there, download our stuff and share it. I need your help. This is a call to action. Do me that favor right now. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So let's read this. Technical difficulties. Now seems like the right time to remind you all, both lovers and haters, why we started this platform. We believe privacy is paramount and free speech is essential, especially on social media. Our aim has always been to provide a nonpartisan public square where individuals can enjoy and exercise their rights to both. We will resolve any challenge before us and welcome all of you back soon, and we will never let civil discourse perish. Now, this post is from today, from Parler, 1/21/2021, and you might be listening to this on the 22nd. This is going to come out shortly before midnight on the 21st. Over the past few weeks, Parler has been repeatedly mischaracterized and treated unjustly, but the recent personal attacks on our CEO, John, and his wife, Alina, and their family are reprehensible. Alina, whose working class family lived in the former Soviet Union, came to America to start her own multiracial interfaith family with John, to subject them to baseless accusations that their marriage is part of some twisted espionage scheme, all because she is an immigrant, is precisely the sort of racism, nativism, fear, and demonization President Biden urged us to reject in his inaugural address. The entire Parler team stands behind John and Alina. Our new president called for unity. We must end this uncivil war that pits red against blue, rural versus urban, conservative versus liberal, and we can do this if we just open our souls instead of hardening our hearts. The smears against John and Alina are exactly the sort of tactics he's imploring us all to abandon, whether he means it or not. I'm adding that part in, whether Biden means it or not. None of us trust Biden. All right. But I understand what John Matsey and all them are doing here, because we're supposed to at least hope. And here, look, I'm going to break from character for a second, and I'm going to say this, all right? Whether you agree with me or not, whether you hate it or not, I'm not going to be like the left, all right? I'm still with you. I'm way on the right, all right? I still support Trump. I still support our Constitution and free speech, and none of this stuff the left is doing. But I do wish Joe Biden the best of luck in a position that none of us think he can handle. Please, please prove us wrong. Please. I'm not going to be like the left and wish him doom, because if I wish Joe Biden bad in the White House, all that's going to do is screw all of us. So I hope, and I mean, by the looks of the executive orders he's been signing, it doesn't give me much hope. But I hope, I'm going to say it out loud, I hope he succeeds. I wish him the best of luck, but make no mistake, the minute he fucks up, excuse me for my language, but I'm a sailor, is what it is. Pardon my language. As soon as he messes up, everybody, the whole country is going to be there to call him out on it. So he better be trying to at least tread on the right water, because I don't think he knows what he got himself into. I don't think he even knows where he is. I don't even think he knows who's standing around at him or who's even passing him his notes to read off of when he talks at a podium. It's ridiculous, I know. But we have to be good Americans. And if we support the Constitution, even though we don't like him, we don't believe in him, we have to at least wish him well. All right. I wish him well in terms of doing the right thing. Do I think he's going to do the right thing? Not a chance in hell. So don't judge me. I don't think he's going to do the right thing. I don't think he's doing the right thing. But by the small percentage chance that he grows a conscience, I hope he does. And I hope he does do the right thing for the sake of this country, though it's a long shot by a mile times 1,000. We are disappointed. Here's another note on the Parler front page that you might not have heard. We are disappointed by the judge's ruling against our request for a preliminary injunction in our suit against Amazon. We remain confident that we will ultimately prevail in the main case. We also remind everyone that this litigation is still in its early stages and that the resolution of this case will have broad implications for our pluralistic society. Parler is gratified that this court refused to uncritically accept Amazon's argument, widely repeated in the media, that Parler platform was somehow used to plan, coordinate, or execute the despicable January 6th riot at the Capitol, which all of us know it was not. Based on the evidence of which we are aware, the Parler platform was not used in that manner, even though competing platforms clearly were used for that purpose. We are grateful the court refused to join the dishonest attempt to make Parler the scapegoat for the riot. At the same time, Parler is disappointed that the court's ruling ignored the reality that every social media platform, including Amazon's own online store, sometimes unwittingly hosts content that incites violence or is otherwise inappropriate. In fact, our analysis shows that the incidence of such material on Parler is far lower than on competing platforms. Parler has developed an artificial intelligence-based enforcement system that we believe will reduce the incidence of such content still further. Parler looks forward with old and new to working with old and new partners to reestablish an alternative social media platform that not only avoids the unnecessary censorship that has become increasingly popular with its competitors, but is also more protective of public safety. None of you have heard that. I betcha. You got to keep checking this page, www.parler.com. Check their front page. They are posting updates here and there. Sean Hannity put this out on the 20th. I've spent my entire career fighting for free speech, even for those I strongly disagree with. We stand with Parler in the fight for free and open dialogue. Senator Rand Paul, the same day, competition is the surest means to preserving free speech. Everyone, left and right, should be horrified that big tech's attempt to stamp out speech. I wish Parler and all other innovators. I'm an innovator too, so please, I like being wished success by Rand Paul. No, I'm not on the list. I just wanted to get excited for a second. Parler and all the other innovators' success in keeping the marketplace of ideas open and uncensored, right? That's what we want. We don't want to block anybody's speech out. All right. We don't like what the left has to say, but they need to have the platform to say it or we'd be hypocrites. At least let them have their platform to say it. We have our platform to say our stuff. And when they do evil stuff, we can see it coming. Because if they put us underground, don't you realize? They have to at least realize we're not going away. There's 80 plus million of us. We're just going to find other ways to communicate with each other. Trust me, I'm already working on it with my team. Those who continue to lie about the president by accusing him of igniting or being part of a violent insurrection, this is Mark Levin on the 19th, supported his impeachment and now, maybe I should try an impression of him, and now intend to pursue him in a bogus trial once he's out of office, will be judged harshly by history, and the ideological and political purge now underway, striking at virtually all of the fundamental principles upon which this nation was founded, will be condemned as mob rule run amok. I hope our republic can withstand this onslaught until sensible people and possible statesmen step forward and stem this tyranny. Hillsdale College. No, I'm just totally kidding there. That was a horrible impression. And the only thing that let you know it was Mark Levin was the fact that I said Hillsdale College at the end. John Matsey on the 18th said this: our return is inevitable due to hard work and persistence against all odds. Despite the threats and harassment, not one Parler employee has quit. We are becoming closer and stronger as a team. If you notice, I gave John Matsey my horrible Morpheus impression. This is Amy Peikoff on the 18th. But though I was initially disappointed at being categorized as an extremist, I continued to think about the matter and I gradually gained a measure of satisfaction from the label. Was not Jesus an extremist for love? Was not Amos an extremist for justice? Let justice roll down like waters and righteousness, like an ever-flowing stream. And John Bunyan, I will stay in jail to the end of my days before I make a butchery of my conscience. And Abraham Lincoln, this nation cannot survive half slave and half free. And even Thomas Jefferson, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I can say that Joe Biden can't, not because he doesn't know what it means, but because he can't actually say those words in a sentence. I'm sure you've heard the video or seen the video. So the question is not whether we will be extremists, but what kind of extremists will we be? Will we be extremists for hate or for love? Will we be extremists for preservation of injustice or for the extension of justice? In that dramatic scene on Calvary's Hill, 3 men were all crucified for the same crime, the crime of extremism. It gave me goosebumps. 2 were extremists for immorality and thus fell below their environment. The other, Jesus Christ, was an extremist for love, truth, and goodness, and thereby rose above his environment. Perhaps the South, the nation, and the world are in dire need of creative extremists. That's Martin Luther King Jr., a letter from Birmingham jail. And look at that. Can you see I don't know if you can see it. I got goosebumps, ladies and gentlemen. That was a good historical one right there from the man himself, Mr. Dr. King. Might this be the year that all of us, regardless of political belief, become extremists for freedom of expression and privacy? Wouldn't that turn 2021 on its head? Now this, Dan Bongino, this is 1/18/2021, January 18th, my mom's birthday. We will never stop fighting. Never. This fight's bigger than me, and it's bigger than Parler. If they're allowed to silence us, they can silence anyone. It stops now. Please stand with us in this fight for liberty, truth, and freedom. Well, we here at the American Reveille, we stand with you. We're being silenced as well, so we support all of us that are fighting for freedom of voice right now in a United States of America where our rights are tyrannically being stepped on. John Matze, obviously on the 15th, let us know he was alive. Hello world, is this thing on? Speaking of which, he's had to go into hiding with his family because of death threats. Horrible. That's part of what this first thing I read to you was about when I was talking about the attacks on his family. Terrible, terrible, terrible. It's gone even further than that, and it's completely unacceptable. Completely and entirely unacceptable. I know that was a little long, but it's very important that you saw all those because a lot of people haven't. We are cut off without the social media, and it's time to start learning how to live again when we're unplugged. So we're going to all have to go old school for a while. And I got some old school tricks up my sleeve coming to a city near you. Peacefully. And that's not a code for anything, you crazy extremist leftists who are going to say when I say peacefully, that's a code. It's not a code for crap. I mean peacefully. I mean, we're going to do some beat the street foot style advertisement, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do some fun stuff in some towns near you. We've got things coming up. Don't worry. We'll talk about it more. We'll talk about it more, and we'll get you involved as well. I hope you like swag, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you like swag. One last thing. Do me a favor. If you love what we're doing, if you appreciate the info you've been getting from the American Reveille, head over, like I said before, sign up. Sign up for that newsletter. It's a daily newsletter. We're going to start coming out with a weekly recap as well, but this daily newsletter is a special message from me and the collection of news that you would normally get from me throughout the day on Parler and other social media sites. So it's worth having in your inbox on a daily basis. It's not terribly long. It won't drive you crazy, but you get to be a part of Project Underground Railroad, and that's something you need to be a part of right now. Trust me, it'll help you make a difference. It'll help empower you, and you'll get to keep in touch with me and what we're doing. One last thing, folks, we're going to be moving to a new website very, very soon. I'm very excited. I can't wait for you to see it. And if you feel like supporting us, if you want to give a small business a hand, a business that's looking to become a much larger business and have an impact on the social structure of this country, swinging the pendulum back to center and even towards right, folks, go to www.americanreveille.com. Hit the support us button right there at the top. All right. And whatever you can do, however you'd like to support the American Reveille, please do so. It's not required. I just ask that you share our content. People need to hear about what we're doing. But if you can, and you really want to make a difference, please, please, please head over there, www.americanreveille.com. Go to the Support Us tab. Give us what you can so we can reinvest it into the business and keep fighting the leftist ideology. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the awesome comments and emails I've been getting. I know that a lot of you haven't been seeing my content. It's not because I'm not putting out the content. It's because they are blocking me from your feed. So come directly to wherever you can find me. Come right to the source to find my stuff, folks. And if you're having trouble finding it, if you'd like to know more, if you'd like to know how you could help, we do need people to help us build this organization. We need everybody from artists to lawyers to all kinds of different people. So if you would like to help, email me directly, jameslane@americanreveille.com. Anything else, any suggestions, comments, questions, jameslane@americanreveille.com. Folks, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, James Lane here, and thank you for watching that clip. Folks, I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much that we're going to be going old school and finding ways to hit the street in a town or city near you. What do I mean by hit the street? I mean street team, folks. Old school 90s lanyards, pamphlets, stickers, and there's going to be a special surprise for all those who participate. Folks, if you want early in to what you're hearing, if you want to know more about what I'm talking about there, do me a favor, email me directly, jameslane@americanreveille.com. That's James Lane at americanreveille.com. There's going to be a very, very special secret benefit to those who want to participate. Besides that, head to the website. You see it right there on the screen, www.americanreveille.com. That's www.americanreveille.com. You see that big green button? It says sign up. Hit that button, folks. Sign up for the American Reveille newsletter. Sign up for Project Underground Railroad. What this is going to do is, while Parler's down, while everything's a fritz, while people don't know what up is and what down is, what left is and what right is, I'm going to give you some daily updates. Keep your mind in the right track, the right frame, keep you headed in the right direction, and update you on how we are organizing, working together, and building a coalition of like-minded individuals. Folks, big things are coming, and they are going to be magnificent, and I want you to be a part of them. So please, please, please keep informed. Sign up for the newsletter at www.americanreveille.com. If you're still with me, if you still want to help out, do me another great favor. Head over to Rumble, folks, www.rumble.com, and find me there, American Reveille. The name itself is American Reveille put together on the channel. So American, REVEILLE, if you search for it. One word, all right? American Reveille. And subscribe there. We're trying to build a base there. We're trying to get off YouTube and some of the other places that are cutting our distribution. We've already been shadow banned off of Facebook, off of Twitter, off of everywhere else. But folks, I'm not some kid. I'm not some quitter. I'm one of you. I'm a blue-collar, white-knuckle American, a calloused hand, hard-working SOB. And they ain't going to kill me off of that easy, folks. So we're going to go old school, like I said, and we're going to have more news about that coming very, very soon. Again, thank you so much for watching that great clip, and make sure you tune in next time. Bye.